Namaskar, dear students. Today we'll be studying the Right to Information Act. Till now, we have studied Section 7, and today we'll be studying Section 8 of the Right to Information Act. Okay, so far we have studied that the public authority is duty bound to provide the information. Since we strive to achieve a very transparent model of democracy and republic, we also wanted accountability. Therefore, the information revealing is very important, and this is the main thing which is tried to be sought under this act. But today we'll be studying section 8 of this act, in which we'll be studying the non-disclosure of information. Okay, so under this section, the exemption from providing the information is provided specifically. Section 8 begins with non-obstante clause. Okay, so it specifically reads notwithstanding anything contained in this act. What does it mean? Non-obstante clause, which says notwithstanding. So if this word is specifically used in any act, it means that whether anything contrary may be provided under this act, but what will be having an overriding effect is this clause, which contains the non-obstante clause. Okay, so notwithstanding anything contained in this act, okay, the information will not be provided to any citizen. So we'll be studying the various situations in which the revealing of the information is not done and the information is refused to be provided. So these grounds will be very important grounds, very crucial grounds, because if the information here is revealed, it will hamper the interest in a utmost manner. So let's see what are the various circumstances under which the revelation of information is not made. Yes, the first thing is, whenever the information, if the disclosure of information will hamper the sovereignty and integrity of our nation, then such information which will adversely affect the sovereignty and integrity will not be provided. Okay, again, the information, if the revealing of the information will hamper the scientific, the strategic and the economic interest or the security interest of this nation, then again the information will be refused. These are very important grounds. If you cannot save the country after the revelation of information, then what is there to show? So that is why transparency here is not so important, because here the main thing is which is important is saving the country is more important here. So that is why these are the exemptions from the disclosure of information. So first of all, you have to save the nation, you have to save the economic and the strategic and the security interest of the nation, you have to save the sovereignty and integrity of the nation. Thereafter, if it doesn't hamper such interest, then the information may be accordingly be revealed. Good. The information will also not be provided if the revelation of information is going to incitement of an offense. So if such work is done, again the information will not be provided. Again, if the relations with the foreign states are adversely affected, then again you will refuse the information. Okay, you have to maintain the friendly relations. These are our priorities. Okay, and if it is not adversely affected, then the information may be revealed. Is it clear to you people so far? Again, taking next, what information will not be provided is the information which has been specifically prohibited to be given by a court of law or tribunal. Okay, or if by providing the information contempt of court will happen, then again such information will not be provided. It is really important. Again, now we have studied like sovereignty and integrity and friendly relations with the foreign nations and security of the nation, scientific, economic interests are important. Similarly, the contempt of court should not happen if the court has specifically prohibited. Again, that information has not to be provided. So I think these important grounds are clear to you. The logic is very clear. These are very crucial things. So in these crucial matters, the information will never be revealed. Next, if any information, if it is revealed, then if it leads to any breach of privilege of parliament, or if it leads to the breach of privilege of state legislature, then again such information will not be revealed. So section 8 acts as a filter. Whatever is filtered through section 8, such kind of information may be provided, and whatever it stops, such information will not be revealed. These things are our priority, and in order to at least save these priorities, the information is not revealed. Such priorities mainly contains the saving of privileges of the parliament and the state legislature, and such again it includes the saving of the contempt of court. So such things should not happen. Again, we have studied, we will be saving the sovereignty and integrity of the nation. So these are our priorities. So such an information will not be revealed anyhow. Okay, so we'll filter out such information and will save and will not disclose such information. Moving on, next, what kind of informations may not be provided? Again, any information which includes commercial confidence, trade secrets, or intellectual property, the disclosure of which would adversely affect the rights of third party. Such information will not be provided at all, because here the rights of such third party are adversely affected. So we wish to save or safeguard the interests of such kind of third parties. So intellectual property rights are again saved. Okay, but there is an exception to it. And what is that exception? That is, if a competent authority is satisfied that the larger public interest warrants the disclosure of such information, then such information may be revealed. So we are not irrational. We will be acting in a very rational and a reasonable and logical manner. So here, after balancing out both the situations, whatever is more important, again will be prioritizing again in that manner. Okay, so our priorities are accordingly. What lies next is information which are received in fiduciary capacity. Such information will not be revealed because we have to maintain such fiduciary capacity, because such information is gained in good faith. Okay, so will not be revealing such information. Again, there is an exception that such information which is provided or received in fiduciary capacity can be revealed if competent authority is satisfied that larger public interest require the revelation of information, then accordingly the information will be disseminated to the society. So now next, the information, if the revelation of information is going to endanger the life and personal liberty of a person, or if the revelation of information will identify the source of the information, or will identify that person, that and such information will not be disclosed, because such informations may be received from intelligence agencies or counter-intelligence agencies. So such information should not be disclosed, because these are very crucial kind of informations. So such informations are not disclosed. Moving on, again in the series of the disclosure of information where it is not made is the cases in which the information is received in confidence from any foreign government. So if such information is received in such capacity, then we will not disclose the information, and I think you know why. Because we want to maintain good and amicable relations with such kind of nations, because getting information from such foreign countries is very difficult task, and if we want to continuously remain in loop of getting the information from such kind of nations, we must not reveal such informations under the Right to Information Act. So it filters out again this kind of information. Okay, I think you have understood so far. So next, what information will not be revealed is information, the revelation of information which would impede the process of investigation or prosecution or apprehension of offenders. So if something like this is going to happen, then will not reveal the information, because primary motto here is to complete the investigation, to prosecute such people, to investigate in a fair manner, and thereafter you might again disclose the information in future times. Okay, but while the investigation process is going on, you will not disclose the information. Is it clear to you people? Okay. Now the cabinet papers, okay, including the deliberations of Council of Ministers, their secretaries and officers. So such cabinet papers information will not be disclosed. Okay. And exceptional situations in which such cabinet papers can be disclosed is when the decision has been taken, and then you might again provide the reasons for the same, and the decisions taken might be made public. Is it clear to you people? Again, there is a further proviso in this, that if any information which is not to be provided under this section, that is, if it affects the sovereignty and integrity and the security and the economic and the scientific interests, or if such information is received in confidence from foreign countries. So if such kind of impediment is there, then again the disclosure of the cabinet papers will not be done. So let me show to you people the highlights of the various inputs which I have made so far. So let's see those highlights. We have studied section 8, which deals with the exemption from disclosure of information. It begins with the non-obstante clause, which says notwithstanding anything contained in this act. First information which will not be provided is which affects the sovereignty and integrity of the nation. Then security, strategic, scientific, economic interest of the nation. Further, such information will not be provided which relates with the relations with the foreign state, which leads to an incitement of offense, which is expressly forbidden by the court or tribunal, disclosure of which would constitute a contempt of the court, and again the disclosure of which would lead to the breach of privilege of parliament or state legislature. So such information will not be disclosed. Again, the information which includes the information received in commercial confidence, trade secrets, intellectual property, the disclosure of which would adversely harm the competent position of third party, then such information will not be revealed. The exception is if the larger public interest warrants, then the competent public authority will take decisions in this regard, and then such information will be disclosed. Next is the information which is received in fiduciary relationship will not be disclosed, will be maintaining that trust and confidence position, that is the fiduciary position will be maintained. Again the exception is if the larger public interest warrants, then the appropriate steps may be taken by the proper public authority. Next is information which is received in confidence from foreign government. So such information will not be disclosed. Again, the information which endangers the life and personal safety of the person will not be disclosed. Information which will identify the source of the information will not be disclosed. Information which is received in confidence by law enforcement and security purposes will not be disclosed. The information which would impede the process of investigation or the apprehension or the prosecution of offenders will not be disclosed. So the information, if it is relating to the investigation, so it will not be disclosed until and unless the prosecution of offenders process is complete. So we'll wait till then. Again, the cabinet papers including the deliberations of Council of Ministers and their secretaries and their officers will not be disclosed. The only exception is decision taken and matter is over. Now you can make that report or that information public. And further, there is a further proviso to this that provides that the information must not be disclosed if it is provided so under the section. So if under the different heads of the section it is refused, so you will not be disclosing the information. Further, any personal information of an individual, if it does not deals with any public interest or public activity, will not be disclosed. That is to say, any unwarranted privacy violation of an individual's life will not be done if it does not deals specifically with the public activity or public interest. Okay? And if there is an exception, and if any central public information officer or state public information officer or any appellate authority is satisfied that larger public interest outweighs such privacy of an individual, then the violation of such individual's privacy will be done and that information will be made available to the public at large. Also, there is proviso in this which specifically tells that if any information cannot be denied to parliament or state legislature, then such an information will not be denied and it will be made public. Finally, under section 8 subsection 2, it is specifically provided that notwithstanding anything contained in the Official Secrets Act 1923, if any larger public interest require that the revelation of the information must be made, then such revelation will be made. No doubt it may cause certain harms, but larger public interest here require that the information must be disclosed. So it will be disclosed. Also, it is provided that notwithstanding anything contained in the exemptions permissible under subsection 1 if the larger public interests require the disclosure of the information, then the information will be disclosed. So it is very clear that the operation of section 8 has very limited limited filters. If the larger public interest require the information should be disclosed, then the information will be disclosed. Okay. Also now will be seen that the further provision is subject to the provisions of sub clauses A, C and I of subsection 1 of section 8. The information will be revealed if it already 20 years have been passed. So the subclause A deals with the sovereignty and integrity and the security and economic interest of the nation and friendly relations with the foreign states, and information the disclosure of which will lead to the incitement of an offence. C specifically, subclause C specifically deals with the breach of the parliamentary or the state legislature's privilege, and I deals with the cabinet papers including the deliberations of union cabinet ministers and their secretaries and their officers. So this provision is subject to these sub clauses. Okay. So if 20 years have passed, then such disclosure can be made, and the final authority to decide from which date the 20 years time period has to be counted will be the central government. Thank you, dear viewers, for listening so patiently. We'll continue our series in the coming lectures. Please do subscribe, share, like and comment. Good day.